get into that microphone, get some telephone voice going.
That's what I thought. I mean, I keep trying to do it, but it's not quite getting the effect that I want. I should have done some vocal warm-ups.
That would not surprise me if you actually did that. Melissa ONeil.
Nathan Fillion, People's Sexiest Man Alive.
Oh, did you see that today?
What was it? Wait, what?
Well, what
is the official title?
There was a subheading of criminally sexy.
Oh,
so
yes.
I didn't make the sexiest list. There was like a sub list.
I like that.
Criminally sexy Canadians who have recently, not so recently, acquired citizenship. They had to have, it's very specific sub list. All right. Melissa, I Googled you.
Hold on. Nathan, I need tell me about your podcast. Introduce me.
Here's the thing. Nobody's going to learn anything particularly poignant during this podcast. I think we should put it as an actual warning on the podcast that you're probably not going to learn anything.
Perfect.
Listening to this today.
Okay.
However, I think that when people watch television and see people on screen they're clearly friends on screen, I think that there is a want inside that they go, oh, I bet they're friends in real life. And often that's probably not the case. However, sometimes that is actually the case. And I think that fact actually scratches a bit of an itch. I think we are in that category.
It's official?
Now,
are we friends?
I know you. Just now, you just found out. Hollywood secrets. Shh. Because we hang out of school.
I know. We're going public right now. I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I actually like to hang out with Melissa outside of work. We actually do things outside of work. But then I Googled you, and then I find out, oh my God, there are things I don't actually know about you. And I've known you for, now we're coming on 8 years.
Yeah.
That's curious. Almost a decade.
It's almost a decade. Yeah, indeed. I don't know what you're about to pull out of your rabbit hat right now. I'm curious.
It's probably, it's all stuff you already know. However,
I hope so.
Let's just start with, you're Canadian.
Albertan.
Are people surprised? Yeah. What? Are people, as am I, are people surprised to find out you're Canadian?
Sometimes, yeah. I think especially because we've been doing the show now for so long and, people know that we shoot in LA. If I throw that out there, they're like, what? Which makes me feel good because it means that I have Americanized my accent to a degree.
Yeah. You certainly don't have the accent. I sometimes forget which words Americans find appropriate. Is it process or process?
Sorry.
I know they don't like that one.
Sorry, about. I think I still screw up about out. I think you're supposed to do it with the ow.
Yes. It's like stub your toe. That's how I learned.
Process.
I need to process this. Hang on a second. I forget which ones Americans won't flinch at.
Sure, yeah.
But yes, you do. You blend.
Thank you. I think you do too. You do well. But your notoriety for your kindness is it's all over the place. So that I think that's one of the main ways people identify you as Canadian.
Do people find out you're Canadian and go, oh, that makes sense. That's why I like her so much.
They do say that.
Okay.
They do say
that.
that. I don't think people realize that our show is loaded with Canadians. We've also got Sean. Who else? Do we have any other Canadians? Sean?
Well, it's you, me, and Sean. And then often we'll get a guest cast member who is, and then sometimes there'll be days where the Canadians outnumber the American cast members.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good spirit and too many pleasantries.
Do you feel, and lots of apologies for that. Do you feel there's an advantage to being a Canadian? Do you feel it's brought you anything positive?
Yeah, I think generally people give Canadians the benefit of the doubt and assume that we are operating with best intent, which that's Canadians are humans like everybody else. We're not infallible by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that's one of the primary perks.
Yeah, I think people are anywhere you go, someone can be a jerk, but I think by and large Canadians enjoy a nice reputation for being chill.
And nice and okay with things that maybe they wouldn't try to do with other people. There's that too.
I think that Canadians can get similar results to Americans, but on a different path that might be just a little more pleasant.
I feel like we're going to get in trouble drawing a line in the sand.
Listen, Well, the entertainment industry, you can be extremely talented in the entertainment industry and still not get work. I think so much of what we do is based on relationships, how you behave, how you treat people, the bridges you build versus the bridges one can burn.
Yes. I have a segue about that, Nathan, if you're open to it.
Go. Please, yes.
So I feel like you are definitely at a part in your career where a lot of people kind of like they reference you because you are the leader on these shows that you've done. You certainly were on Castle. You are our big ship captain now, and you kind of set the tone. It's a top-down type of situation. But where do you think you learned or adopted some of these? I wouldn't even say good habits. They're just like excellent ways of being that have people talking about it after the fact. Like, was that something you learned? Was there a mentor that you had, or did you have a bad experience that made you go, oh?
My parents.
Wow.
I decided, very early on in my career, I just decided I'm only going to make choices I can be proud of that I could make in front of my parents.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? That's been a guiding light for me.
How long ago was that? Do you remember when you kind of made that bond?
Mid-90s.
That's awesome.
Mid-90s.
Before the internet, thank God, too.
Yes. Yeah, listen, I've still made some doozies. I don't know if you ever heard of MySpace, but...
oh, yeah.
We'll get into social media, but you are Canadian, and something you're very shy about, which I don't know why. You are an excellent singer. So look, you're already shy. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You're an excellent singer.
That's something about you, too, that people don't really know.
I can hear you blushing right now, by the way.
Yeah, you can see me is actually what's going on.
I can see you, but I can also hear the blood thumping in your face.
Uh-huh.
Why are you shy about that?
That time in my life is really roped in with a lot of weird stuff. I think doing something like that when you're 17 and I felt really weird in my body, and my relationship with my body is like an ongoing thing, but it is an entirely different beast to be the front and center primary piece of product that's getting just thrust out into the world when you were just in school at rugby practice the other day. And I think that it was really hard. I moved out and there was a lot of that time that felt really funny and awkward and uncomfortable. And later, when I continued to do other work, I think I was not deaf to hearing like the little whispers around me that I was only getting certain opportunities because I had done this Canadian Idol thing, and that I was only being given opportunities and other jobs and things like that because of that situation. And they're part and parcel together, right? But that hurt. And also, my parents really valued having a pedigree, having an academic background of some kind. And so when I kind of just like launched out of high school and was working, I was acutely aware of the fact that I did not have any of that. And so it just feels funny sometimes when I think about that time, but I am grateful for it now. It's just a weird thing that I did when I like for 2 months when I was a teenager, I don't know.
No, I get it. My impression of you is, the Melissa I met 8 years ago, you were already a very together person. I forget that at 17, you're probably a very different human being and certainly lacked the experience that could prepare you for anything like being the youngest winner of Canadian Idol ever.
Mm-hmm. At the time, probably at the time.
Has there been younger ones since?
I don't know. I really just stopped following the whole thing afterwards.
I'm hearing that. I'm hearing there was like but here's one of the things I learned about you: 4 times platinum.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's a built-in machine, right? It's like you kind of get chunked out, and there's a whole bunch of people that profit from the machine. But it is crazy. My mom has the plaques. I think my mom has them. Yeah, I have like the plaques with the record and like the CDs and the little. Yeah, I've got that at home.
That was my next question. Are they hanging in your house like in a record studio?
No, I think my mom has them, and if she doesn't, then I've got them hiding somewhere in my garage. But I no. What am I going to do with those things? Why would I?
It's like a diploma. You put that stuff up. Otherwise, how's anybody going to know?
You know what diploma I actually have that is sitting in front of all my books in my living room? So if people are curious, they can see, is my level 1 stunt driving course. I'm very proud of that. I have that in my living room.
Okay, that is something I would love the world to know about. Because here's the thing. I know you. I love you. I adore you. I want the world to know some of the things that I know about you. When you started on the Rookie and you're going to be driving a police car everywhere. You didn't
They
have a
didn't tell
driver's
me
license.
that. They didn't tell me that.
Did you think maybe, oh, I'm going to Los Angeles. It's a big city. It's really sprawled out across it's a real car culture. I might need to know how to drive. Did that cross your mind?
It crossed my mind to the degree that I was like, I'm not going to have that sorted out. So, hey, manager, team, we should probably let them know that I'm going to need a ride to work. I'm going to need to bum a ride to work. Can somebody please come get me? So that was crazy. It's been, I have grown up on this show. I have really grown up on this show in the last 8 years. I drive now. I love driving. I drive all over the place now. But I didn't know before.
So you learned how to drive for the show and for life skills. This is a good one to have. You also learned how to swim for the show.
Oh, wait, is that? Yes. I also did not know. And you know what? That's another strange byproduct of like body funniness, you know? And so, hey, if you're listening to this and you haven't done things because you feel weird in your body, you should just go do it. Like get over it and go do it because life is awesome and your body is functional, I'm hoping. And if you can swim, you should learn how. I just learned. And it's wonderful. I like being underneath the most. I like being underneath and staying underneath so I can look at the stuff and feel what it feels like to be fully underneath the water. That is an excellent experience. Highly recommend.
Would you consider scuba diving?
Yeah. Do I need to learn more things for scuba diving? I imagine so, because of the gear. Or is it easier because of the gear? You are a massive scuba diver.
I've slowed down in recent years, but I do scuba dive. I've been on many, many dives. I have hours and hours and hours under there, a couple hundred. You have to breathe out of your mouth. You have to not panic. And there's like certain moves. Don't come up fast. If there's a problem, you got to deal with it underwater. It's an underwater problem. Can you breathe out of your mouth? Have you ever put on a mask and a snorkel equipment?
No, I have not used snorkel equipment, but I can focus my breathing to happen out of my mouth. Certainly. Yes. But I'm sure when you scuba, they give you like a pincher for your nose, right?
You have a mask. You don't need to worry about that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
The mask covers your nose. Yeah.
I remember when you would go on your scuba trips with your bro and you'd come back with all these epic videos from what you would see, like the coral and the wildlife. I totally want to go down there. Was there anything you saw that kind of made you aware of how intelligent some of those creatures are down there?
So I've seen some big things underwater, like big creatures, and that's always a bit of a thrill. But I'm always fascinated by, and I think you would too, the tiny little stories that are happening. And little things going on where you can see behaviors. And if you see little white threads sticking out from under a piece of coral, you can put your fingers in there and a little cleaner shrimp will come out and start picking at your nails a little bit. And you feel like you're a part of what's going on down there when you really are not. You're an alien visitor, but yeah, I like the little stories that are happening. You would enjoy that. Being weightless and floating around, I think you'd really like.
Yeah, and being able to breathe. I think all of that would make me very excited.
Yeah,
I love zooming in.
You really have to
creatures.
focus on your breath.
Really? Oh, I love that.
Oh, yes. You'd be totally into it. Well, all right, maybe we should talk about getting you some scuba lessons.
Okay. Whee!
Right.
Solving crime underwater.
That's going to be on a very special episode of The Rookie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you did Canadian Idol and then you started doing a little bit of musical theater. You did a whole bunch of bits of musical theater like that people would know. Jesus Christ Superstar, High School Musical, Dirty Dancing. Was it a supportive community? Why are you laughing?
Was it a supportive community? You know what it was? It was my version of school. It really was. And it was kind of just like a fun way to immerse myself in peers and community, but all of them had gone to school. Like they had come up through the system. You know, you go to theater school or you've been dancing your entire life or you've been taking singing lessons your entire life. And then you naturally move into that profession. And so I learned a lot from them about how to do that as a gig. But the place that felt like I was in a conservatory was when I was at Stratford Shakespeare Festival. I got hired to be a part of Jesus Christ Superstar there. And the stars of our leading cast, Paul Nolan and Shalina Kennedy, they played Jesus and Mary Magdalene. They were absolute craftsmen, incredible actors who were very, very dedicated and very serious about their work while still knowing how to be good leaders. I felt like I was at school every day. I was always watching them. So I really feel like that was a massive foundation for me. And there's a community vibe to it because in theater, you're doing 8 shows a week. You're all there the entire time and you're working towards telling this story that you have spent many, many hours, sometimes months, bringing into refinement so that the audience can have that, like the delivery of this heart. And I do miss that sometimes as a contrast to television, because I think in television, we're trying to be present and to deliver an honest moment based off of the responses and the reality of a situation as it is. And sometimes, especially when we're cooking, as we are on our show, we're moving quickly. It's important to be refined. But sometimes I think there are moments that we might miss because of time, because of daylight, because we didn't rehearse, you know what I mean? And it has its magic in its own way too. But that is one thing that's really special about theater. And the slippery slope on that side is, can you keep it fresh 8 months in? Can you keep it new? You know, and that's a wonderful practice in presence. You know about
You get the
that.
rehearsal process. You get to work on a moment. You get to create something amazing, but then can you recreate it so it's fresh every time?
Yeah. Do you miss theater at all?
Not really.
There's things about theater
I do a little
miss.
bit. I do a little bit. There is an immediacy that when you do something great, people know it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like you know it because there's a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're doing something great and you hear in the audience. And they're not there with you, and you're like, oh well, to hell with these guys. I'm going to do a great job, despite there's a thing with the audience being right there that you can't enjoy or participate in when you're doing film or television. Now, you talk about that being your school, but that's school on the fly. That's actually you're out in front of people.
Yeah, no kidding. But that means the stakes are really high. And as someone who is pretty neurodivergent, if you give me urgency and high stakes, I will usually perform better.
I'm just going to look up neurodivergent really quickly, see what that means.
Neurospicy.
Ooh, you have that?
Yeah. Is there a show that would ever bring you back to that world, Nathan? I could see, there's a couple of two-hander plays that I could totally see you in.
I was invited to do Broadway.
Yeah. Would you share what show?
I did a movie called Waitress that became a Broadway musical. And when the main cast said, okay, we've done our run and we're going to step down and someone else can take over, they asked me to come and reprise my role from the film on Broadway.
Oh my God.
And this would have meant singing up against the woman who composed and wrote all the songs for the musical, Sarah Bareilles, the lovely, incredible, and talented, beautiful Sarah Bareilles.
Yeah.
And I said, no way.
Really?
Are you kidding
You have
me?
a lovely voice, Nathan.
I can carry a tune in a bucket. Listen, Melissa, imagine Joe and Mary Smith from Middle America. They're going to save up their money and go to New York and see a big old Broadway show. It's been our life dreams. And they buy their tickets and they're going to go in and they're going to sit down and they see Nathan Fillion sing and they go, that's Broadway,
listen,
huh?
I'm not gonna blow sunshine up your butt. I think you're being a little hard on yourself. And also, I am not as familiar with the male songs in that show. So there could be some validity to what you're saying. I don't know. But my instinct is that you're being hard on yourself, and the idea of singing opposite Sarah Bareilles certainly sounds intimidating, of course. But
super intimidating. Yeah. And also, I can't do harmony. Because I'll listen to what someone else is singing and I'll just go right into what they're singing instead of trying to sing my part, the harmony part. I can't two-track that.
We should practice. We'll practice at work. I'll bring some TikToks for us to do.
Listen, if anyone's going to teach me, it's you. I've asked a couple of people, I said, can you teach vibrato? And they go, no. That's what they say to me.
Why do you want that?
They know how to do it.
You want vibrato?
I just think that that's like the mark of an amazing singer.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about that and try to, because they've tried to work vibrato out of me, because let's say if you're harmonizing with someone, it's better if you have a straight tone, because if you're both vibratoing around a note, how are you really harmonizing?
Yeah, it can sound like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But you have control over it. I talked to another friend, Isabella Merced,
she's wonderful.
Yeah. She goes, you can sing with a little bit of it, or like a medium, or like a lot of it. And she can do all these. That's pretty amazing. I said, can you teach that? She goes, I don't think so. But theater, you go from theater and you're learning the craft on the fly. And you go, oh my God, this is what acting is all about. And looks like I'm pretty good at it. What's your first TV gig? What's your first offstage?
My first TV gig, I was in the middle of doing Les Mis in New York. So hungry, literally. So skinny and hungry and poor. And I was just like, I said to the universe, I'm ready. I'm ready to have a little bit more money. And if you would entrust me with a job that gave me more, I would be so grateful. And I think like a week later, my agent, or no, this was a stranger to me at the time, but the television agent at the theatrical agency that I'm with, Talent House, he reached out and he goes, "Hey, would you ever consider auditioning for TV?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I ended up testing for that. Didn't get it. It was another sci-fi show called Killjoys. And then my next audition was for my first TV job called Dark Matter, where I played...
That was your first?
That was my first TV job. Yeah, I played a ship captain of a bunch of mercenaries.
So this is something I'm learning about you right now because I've seen Dark Matter.
You did? Cool.
I swear. Yes, I did. Of course I did. Well, this is in the beginning when I was like getting to know you. Like, what's this girl all about?
Right.
I was checking, but I was looking like, what's her pedigree? What does she do?
Yeah.
And we share a sci-fi
Past.
pedigree.
I know. I love it.
And I'm shocked that was your first. Okay, so here's the thing. You know how to act, and you're on stage. You're doing your thing. You know, okay, I want to do some TV now. It's a different animal.
Completely different. Oh, completely.
Who taught you how to act with all the distraction of everything? It's an entirely different thing. You're learning that on the fly as well?
Yeah. Not only was I learning it on the fly, I was being like heavily corrected, not in a mean way, but I am me through and through, Nathan. And as you know, but maybe your listeners will not know, is that when I feel like something needs to be said, heaven and hell cannot move me to keep my mouth shut. And that is especially...
That's not untrue.
That's especially the case with art. And I remember we were shooting it was the space it was our dock, essentially, where we had these time travel pods. And I'm marching into the room and we had shot the first setup already and they marked us. And I walked off because we were on a relax while they reframed the shot. And I came back and my mark was in a very different position, and that it was wrong. It was not my original mark. And I was like, everyone was getting ready and we were, chasing the light and I was like, okay, let's go. And they had yelled action. I was like, sorry guys, we have to stop. This is not where I was standing. And they're like, yeah, we know. And I'm like, and you're okay with this? And it was a whole hoop-de-doo, but they had moved my mark because that's what we do. We move the marks for the cameras, and that's everybody's job. And I didn't understand that was okay and that I was where I needed to be. Anyways, yes, I had to learn a lot on the fly, but it wasn't too bad. I think acting...
Heck no, it wasn't bad. Let me tell you something. If you were to go and watch my first stuff on TV, you'd go, oh, Nathan.
I want to. Oh. I saw one of your commercials once for, what was that nature commercial? I sent it to you.
That was an Alberta forestry video.
That was so cool. I just feel that is so epic. You should have that whole thing put on a t-shirt or like a still from it. I think that gives you so much street cred in Alberta, Nathan. I think it's so cool.
That was just it was almost like a hosting gig. But if you were to watch my early acting, you'd probably say, oh.
Was that on the soaps?
That's on the soaps, and they let anything go on TV on the soaps.
But,
you would make a terrible mistake and say, "Can I go back and do that again?" They'd say, "Nope, it's on TV," because they're in a rush.
Right, but
that's a hurry. That's fast.
I just feel like whenever I've listened to you and whoever else on our show who has also done soaps, it's like that sounds like a real schooling. That environment, like needing to be ready.
By the time I got out of there, I was pretty darn prepared, for that aspect of the job. I was technically proficient by the time I got out of there. I still had a great deal to learn, but there was a learning curve there that I did not see when I was watching Dark Matter. I thought you had something behind you by the time you got there.
Oh.
So this is something else new I'm learning about you right
that's very sweet. I feel like, don't you feel like whenever you watch anything you do, you're just like, God, that's the take they chose? Really wish I hadn't done that.
Yes, I think that we are very hypercritical of our own stuff, but the audience is always the last collaborator, and the audience doesn't know your intent and what was going on in your brain and what you were trying to do versus what happened. So the audience has a fresh lens, whereas yours is tainted and cracked and awful.
Thank you for your clarity.
You got a little smudge of butter on there.
Just a schmear.
Yeah, I'm still shaking my head. I'm just trying to think, man. To hit the ground running like that. Here's the thing, and this is actually true about you, what you just said about coming back thing. This was not where I'm at, Mark. You are very concerned, to this day, very concerned about doing a good job. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what? Talk about things that we've got from our parents. I have a vivid memory. This is where this comes from for me. I have a very vivid memory of my mom. Did you ever go to Calgary at all?
I've been to Calgary, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So my mom used to work in the food court for Sunridge Mall. She used to work in some of the other stores at Sunridge Mall. But when she worked at Subway, I have a vivid memory of coming over to her counter and like, I wanted her to be done, but I'm looking through the glasses. She's making everybody else's sandwiches. And like, the bread is cut perfectly. The condiments are spread right to the edge of the bread. The meat is folded perfectly and symmetrically across the sandwich. And I just remember thinking that if my mom can be epic at making somebody's Subway sandwiches over and over and over again, pretty much nobody has an excuse to just not do whatever it is that they're given the opportunity to do and do it well. And so I think that's also why I'm like, no detail is too small for me to get neurotic about, you know? Like I appreciate those things. They make work really interesting and fulfilling for me. I like the details. It's fun. But I have to let go a little.
You got all that from a sandwich.
I did. I get so much from food. I do.
I'm right now thinking of like when I bring you like a Canadian confectionery and how your eyes light up. Ooh,
Coffee crisp?
ooh.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's something else people might not know about you, unless they follow you on social media. You're outdoorsy.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
You and Elizabeth Chavez. I'm so glad she has you, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad to have her. She's amazing.
She's a wonderful little human being, also extremely concerned about doing a good job. You two are you have a lot in common. And one of the things you have in common is being outdoorsy.
Yeah, we love it.
You came back at one point and you'd made your own yarn.
I like how you said yarn. No, actually, it wasn't just the yarn. Nathan, we went away to Arizona and we studied with Callie Russell, who was the runner-up to, I think, season 7 or season...
The Callie Russell?
If you're not joking, yes, the Callie Russell. I don't know
who that is.
Okay, so then you really need to watch her season of Alone because she is an epic female.
Oh, I do like Alone.
Oh my God. So she was the runner-up, I think in season 7 or 8. She's an epic human being and she's a goat herder. And she was teaching us how to tan sheepskin traditionally, her and her partner, Rain. And it was epic. We camped for like 2 weeks and we learned how to process a sheepskin and tan it and
scrape it.
Yeah, the scraping is called something else though, and I completely forget. But we had such a blast, and that involved camping and contributing to like cooking and helping clean up and just being in community and doing a Skillshare. It was so cool. Yeah, we had a great time. And we also went on other camping trips. She's such a good travel buddy because we both kind of have an elder sister kind of attitude where we're always on top of everything. She's one of those people when you travel with, parts of your brain can relax because the second you go, oh crap, what about that one thing? Your partner is already on it. You know, she's a really great teammate in that way. Yeah. Liz, that's my girl.
You've seen a lot of Canada and a lot of this country, a lot of the beauty that these countries have to offer.
Not enough, but yeah. I want to see more.
I wanted to be a goat herder at one point, but I have a hearing disability. I couldn't tell if it was goats I heard or horses.
Oh dear.
What?
Huh?
Let's talk about, we have a shared experience in a little television program called The Rookie.
Yes.
Let's talk about the first day I met you at your audition.
Oh no. Great. Yeah, let's go there. That's a good story.
You came into a little room. It had like was the stage, was it just the edge of the room or was it raised a little?
There was the end of the room had like a little platform. It was it felt like a little black box theater kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a little bit of kind of like some chairs set up like a little audience. Like
yeah.
4 rows.
There's quite a few people in there too.
It was a bunch.
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
And you came in and what did you say?
I don't remember what I said, but I remember that I tried to get into my lines and then I was cold and I wasn't working. And so I was like, I'm just going to pop a couple of squats up in here. I hope that's all right so I can warm up a bit.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You said, hang on a second. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me put a stop to everything.
Yeah.
I'm freezing cold. I'm going to do some deep knee bends here and try to create some endothermic body heat.
Yeah.
And I'll share a secret with you. When I first came out to LA, I had a couple of jobs that were really great. And then I thought, I'm on a rocket. Everything's going to be great. And I was unemployed for a little over a year.
Oh, dang.
And it was terrifying. And I was auditioning constantly. And I was terrible at it.
It's a skill. It's a different skill.
It is a skill. I got to a point where I said, I just want to leave the room with my dignity. And that became my goal. So that's how low I was. But one of the things I discovered to do that was, hey, man, I just got to be a professional. And what's within my power to control, I have to control it. And if there's something going on that's wrong, I'm going to take control and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. I'm just going to, it took me years to get to that point. And you walked in there and went, hold up, everyone, put on the brakes. Take a break a second. I got to do some squats.
I got to pop some squats in my heels.
I looked at you and I said, I am thoroughly impressed that this young lady just took control of this entire room unapologetically because she's got something to do right now. This is her time. She's got one crack at this. And she's not going to blow it by being uncomfortable, by being distracted, she's just going to control it. And that was something that impressed me right off the bang. But you weren't auditioning for Lucy Chen. There wasn't a Lucy Chen. You were auditioning for another role.
I was, yeah. I mean, I think originally I read for 3 characters. No, that's a different show. No, I read for those 2 characters, and her name was different at the beginning. But then they flip flopped. It wasn't. Yeah, that was because someone was unavailable. Isn't that right?
Well, I think it was just a switcheroo because you and Alyssa, we had auditioning for different roles, and we just flipped you back and changed the character names, and we were off and running.
Yeah. That was so special. That was a really great chemistry read. And you were very generous that day. I remember like, I can't imagine that it's easy to like rotate a bunch of people through like the same moment, you know? And you were very generous that day. And I was very grateful. Yeah. I've
been in your shoes and all I want is for that person to be comfortable and relaxed enough to do what they want to do in that moment. And just, I want them to know that that's their time. But I didn't need to tell you that. And I didn't need to do anything because you took it. That impressed me day one. Day one, that impressed me.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. I'm glad. Because I think that's also one of those funny things about being a neurodivergent person, Nathan. You can continue to look that up later.
Writing it down. I don't think I'm spelling it right.
Our risk assessment is just a little bit different, you know? And so me needing to pop a bunch of squats in front of a bunch of people who are deciding whether or not I'm the right fit for a job didn't exactly clock to me in that moment that it would be maybe totally weird until much later when my nervous system had a moment to like think about it. And I was like, oh, that was awkward.
I don't think it was awkward. I don't think that was awkward at all. Again, to me, that was, this girl has already mastered what took me years to get a hold of, which was, if it's in your control, control it.
Yeah.
Take care of business. Yeah, that was, again, wildly impressed. I can also see how, looking back, you'd go, I bet not a lot of girls did squats on that little stage.
Yeah. While the entire room is just shrouded in darkness. I'm just like, and I'm just going to squat. This is fine. Just don't worry. Look at your phones. We're good. Yeah.
What were your first impressions of being on The Rookie? You'd done Dark Matter. You did other shows after Dark Matter?
I did. Yeah. I think I did a couple, but basically like when I finished Dark Matter, we had 3 months off and I guested, I think it was like three or 4 months off, and we guested on a few other shows, I think 3. And then pilot season came around and we found out that we weren't going again for the show, which was very sad. And then and this was the first pilot I auditioned for. It was bonkers. But everyone was so excited about the script. They were so nerdy about it. They being my team. And also, I should say that my now manager, he was like, okay, Dark Matter's not going. Let's move you down to LA. I was like, I'm not moving to LA unless I have a job. I'm not going to go chase like the LA thing. Like, unless I have a job, why would I move? That's crazy. And then within a month, like I'd booked this. I was like, well, I guess I'm moving.
It looks like I'm moving. Better learn how to drive.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but my first impressions on the show, I guess, God, it felt so big. I mean, there were so many novel experiences happening at that time. And yet, I also felt like a familiarity because I was coming from an environment where I was handling weapons and gear every day, So there was also that part of it that I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." So I'm an actor who seems to get jobs where I'm handling guns a lot, and that's cool cuz I like it. There's a very athletic quality to that, which is very fulfilling, but it felt like being on a movie. We were really ambitious for that pilot, and we're still ambitious to this day. It felt very much like being on, and I've never done a movie. So it was like my only reference point. I was like, wow, like we're shutting down Hollywood Boulevard. And it was just like a whole thing. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was big scale, large scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even for me.
Yeah.
And we had Chick Daniel and Bob Wu, our police consultants.
Yes.
Who would come and train us.
It was so fun.
This is how to do it. This is how not to do it. This is why we do it this way. They tell you a creepy story about how something happened. So now you do like this. And so we were learning on the show and we were learning behind the scenes all the time. That we have those consultants available to us whenever we need them, whenever there's something going down. And here's something I've learned about you. You are, again, you get shy every time you sense a compliment coming.
Two can play this game, Nathan. We can love up on each other this whole podcast if you want. Okay, I'm listening.
Again, you're very concerned about doing a good job, and I'm going to refer you to a point where we had a scene where we were getting our equipment bags. This was early on in the show. We're getting our equipment bags from the equipment room, and the director had you walk in and take your own equipment bags and put it down. You went, oh. And your usually lovely countenance becomes very terse and concerned, and you have a kind of a, okay, wait, hang on a second. Nathan, I don't know if you think this is, but this isn't right.
Yeah.
This isn't right. I don't think we can't get our own equipment. That's not how, we have to sign up. There has to be someone here. We have to sign. It's like you.
Oh, that's so true. And now it's like a standard thing on our show. Wait, is that when that started? I don't even remember that.
You absolutely, but we were doing something for camera movement and trying to make something fun. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I said, why don't we get somebody to hand it to us? We'll just change that so that person can be your camera move, and then we'll be here.
Yeah, that's right.
But frankly, we should not be getting our own. We're not allowed in there.
No.
They have the equipment. They sign it out to us. Now we have it. It's not free for all. You wanted to safeguard the process.
Yeah.
To safeguard how we looked as police officers. I think you are concerned, and as am I, with how we present policing.
Yeah. And you know what? I really do want to give you some love on this note, Nathan, because it is very easy. Especially as like a new person in LA and somebody that nobody else is aware of. There's just like, who's this young actress who's like always getting uppity about everything? You've always given me the time of day and heard me out when I have something to say and give me really, really wonderful feedback. And sometimes if you feel that I do have a good point, like you help me to elevate it and to have other people take it seriously. And I really, really appreciate that. And, I remember there was one time on set where I was just like, I went to you that one time where I was like, can you help me figure out what is going on with me that makes it so that whenever I have something to say, I can tell that people are bracing, and you gave me really honest feedback about my body language and what happens to my face, when I'm thinking, and you know me, so you know that I'm just having a creative moment, but other people are like, oh God, something's about to happen. Melissa's unhappy, and it's like, it's a whole thing. And I really have to work on that.
That's funny. I do remember that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you would kind of say, here it comes with your whole body.
I was like, yeah, listen, I didn't mean to. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I do need to work on that.
But here's the thing. But I also remember saying to you, Melissa, you're not wrong.
Mm.
When you have an opinion about something, try to count the times you've been wrong about something. You're not wrong. You're always right. I think you should have a confidence in that much.
Yeah, I think it's perhaps the urgency that I feel from everybody, and I think that if
it's concern.
Yeah, it's concern. And it's like, I don't want things to move too quickly. Like, let's make sure we get this. If we need to fix it, let's fix it. But yeah, no, I do care. And I'm grateful that we're in an environment where there's room for people that care, because it is a machine and we do need to keep things pushing, and not everything is going to get to be perfect. We are making, I've also heard you say this, and it's true. It's like, we're making a TV show. All right. Like, it's all right. We're making a TV show.
Stop crying.
Yeah.
let go of my wrist. You're hurting me.
Exactly. It's going to be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you, because you're so concerned, because there isn't a lengthy rehearsal process, because this is a machine, we are on a clock, we have to get an episode out within a limited amount of time. How is it that you adapt? I am persnickety.
Yeah.
And I can get a little, let's get this rolling, man.
But you're aware of it, which is good.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who that helps.
Sure.
However, I will say, and I mean, I can be cranky about stuff. I can be real picky. I have zero complaints about you. So in the realm of, oh, you want it to be perfect and there's not enough rehearsal process that you could really dive into this and that, how do you create what you create with the limited span you have?
Yeah, I call them contingencies. So when I'm preparing at home a scene that is more involved than the ones that are just kind of like call and answer, you know, the ones where it was just like da-da-da-da-da, it's like patter. You know, we're all listening to each other and we know what naturally comes next. But when it's like a bigger scene that has more of an emotional heart to it, or a bigger journey that involves you monologuing of some kind, I think it's important to like know the arc, obviously, of what's happening for you, but give room for another person. And at the same time, you can't control what's going to happen on that side. And so I don't want to like plan things within an inch of its life, but I do want to figure out a little bit of creativity so I can roll through some options, you know? So if it's a scene where another person is going to really go on a journey and I'm mostly listening, I'm not planning anything. I'm just going to be like completely present. But if it's involving two people and it's like a scene that involves romance of any kind, then I really try to play out a few different options, especially if the journey is not one that is meant to be surprised. You know how sometimes you have to like layer in a bunch of history between you and another person? You have to show that time has lapsed and significant things have happened in that time. There are ways, there are shorthands physically, verbally that we have with people that only come from time spent. And if you don't get that time with that person, we need to manufacture these things. And those are the details that I get super nerdy about and try to get creative around. And that's my homework. And then you bring all of your pencil crayons and your watercolors and your oils to set, and you're like, what do you like? What do you want? I got hot dogs. I got popcorn. Like I got all this stuff, and you can like pick and choose. I think that's kind of how I navigate the space of no rehearsal. I kind of do rehearsals at home if it is useful for the scene, because there are a lot of scenes, especially with the blessing of being on a police show, where so much of what we do is responding to a novel experience in front of us. So it wouldn't behoove us to prepare a bunch of stuff. We don't have a reference for it unless you're somebody who does. But yeah, I think for those emotional heart moments, I do have contingencies in my mind. Yeah.
Also, too, there's only so much you can plan before you get there and find out.
Exactly.
Oh, this nothing I planned is going to
exactly
work out. Somebody told me have 5 great ideas.
Yeah.
And be prepared to go with one that's different and better.
Yeah, it's perfect. In my mind, I don't worry about like time lost, because for me, it's akin to what everybody else is doing prepping these episodes. They spend a shit ton of time laying everything out so that when it's time to execute, they can do it on a dime. And I feel like we should be able to do the same thing. I'm not always like that, but I try to sometimes.
You are also, and I find this is true with, I'm so fond of our cast.
Me
I'm
too.
so fond of this show. It's such an easy job because of how good everybody is.
Yeah.
You're also a problem solver.
We all are.
You can solve. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that so much of what goes into everybody's work is how do I make this better for you? I don't think there's nobody on our show who is going at it for themselves and alone out there.
Yeah.
I think there is such a team effort.
Yeah, there's camaraderie.
An understanding of, there's a camaraderie for certain.
Yeah.
But the understanding that we're all in this together. And the better this scene is for you, I'm in the scene too, so the better it is for me.
Yep, precisely. Yeah. And it's really special to be in an environment where everybody acknowledges that. And that even goes beyond the cast. I had a really gnarly emotional scene, and I walked onto set, and I know that I looked some type of way. And it was really cool because the whole crew was just so supportive. I didn't have to say anything. Our AD, Anastasia, took one look at me and she was like, okay, everybody, shh, and like got everyone to be quiet. And it really helped me to abide in an environment that would have been hard to stay in if a bunch of people were like doing what they usually do on our set, which is like laughing and having a good time in between takes, you know? So it is a massive team effort on our show, without a doubt. So good.
Here's something that people might not know about you. You think fart sounds are funny?
I think fart sounds are hilarious. Yes. Who did that come from? We don't know. Are you going to tell them what you did?
First, I'm going to say, we're going to get back to that. We're going to touch on that. I'm going to set it up with your social media presence. Wow.
Wow.
You're the one who got me on TikTok.
I'm so thrilled you finally joined.
I think I have 15 posts up now.
Good job.
Thanks. And I've got some up there that I think are pretty clever.
They are.
I think that when I see them, I laugh. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. And they'll have like, 700,000 hits. And then I put you in one of my posts. And I don't know I didn't know I couldn't collaborate till later. So I didn't collaborate. And I didn't even put your name on it, but you're in it.
Yeah.
6 million.
Crazy.
Your fans, the level of engagement. So there's people who can follow you and be nice, and that's great. The people who will like it and repost or comment. But the engagement is what is important. Is if you say, hey, everybody, rally, people rally. So you have that. You're very entertaining on these things. You're super cute. My God, your angles, your lighting. I don't know.
It is the angles. It's this side. It's not this side. It's this side. You know what I learned the other day? Sidebar. I do have a side. And I was talking to Miguel about this. And he heard me. I said, Miguel, get my good side. He goes, you don't really believe in that, do you? And I said, oh, yes, I do. What do you mean? Nathan, you have a side, do you? Is it your front? Do you have a side?
Yes, I do. I don't know. I can't remember which side it is, but my nose when I'm facing north is facing west. So or is it east? But when it's east. It's east. It's my dad's, it's a crooked nose. So from one angle, it looks like, hey, that's quite a nice schnoz he's got. And the other angle, it's like, what happened to his face? So yes, I do have a side. I am telling you. You asked me. This is the truth.
Okay. Well, good. I'm happy to know that. I don't think it's like what happened to his face, but that is interesting. It's, we are our own worst critic, right? But I have always felt that I have one side that is much better. And I learned, people are always telling me, no, that's not a thing. I learned definitively from 2 different people, one of them being my dentist, the teeth in the back of my mouth don't meet. And so I am lacking muscular fitness on the right side of my face.
Are you crying? Are you crying right now?
No, but I was like,
you look like you're crying. Don't cry.
I was like, what are you talking about? And so I think what I'm trying to do now is like chew really good with the right side, even though those teeth don't come together. So I can kind of do bicep curls on my right cheek. You see?
I see you doing it now.
Is it better?
I would not have noticed it until now. I can't look away.
I shouldn't have even pointed it out. Anyways, thanks for thinking I'm cute. I always choose my cute side for my TikToks.
I went to an award ceremony for the wonderful Bill Rowe, who is our supervising director and one of my absolute favorite directors of all time.
Yeah.
He was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. And one of the speakers at the event was Barbra Streisand. She told these incredible stories of producing and directing and acting. And one of them was how she was working on this incredible film that everybody knows the name of, and it changed everything. And she won an Oscar for it. And she was talking to this incredible director who was absolutely fantastic. And she said, no, this is my good side. I want to film it from this side. And he said to her, you don't have a good side and a bad side. It's a fallacy. And he talked her down, and they filmed it from the other side, and they did the whole thing. And he came up to her afterwards and he said, you were right.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It has been a real process on The Rookie, an internal process to surrender to that. Because, we're actors and we're not immune to vanity, but I can't let it control what I'm doing on set. But anytime they're like doing all this beautiful lighting and they're like, all right, we're going to set the camera up from there. And I'm like, oh God, great. Great. I love it. And you know what's the worst is that Eric knows I have a side and he is merciless. He will always just pick the other side so that I have to be on my bad side. It's the worst. And I'm over it. But it's good to have like markers that keep you humble, you know? That is definitely something that keeps me humble.
You and Eric
One
do
of.
excellent TikTok stuff. You and Liz do excellent TikToks together. You come up with brilliant little things. It's fantastic to watch. Your kryptonite, if we're one to say there's a weakness that you have in social media, would be spoilers. This is the story. Now we're getting back to you think fart sounds are funny. And I had a little fart machine and I would put it in my pocket and I would give you the remote and I would make a face and to cue the farts.
Yeah.
And you thought that was very entertaining. And you laugh so hard sometimes you wheeze a little bit.
Yes. I mean, even on this podcast so far, I've been doing a lot of wheezing.
And while we were doing this, you realized you posted something and you felt so awful and you had taken it down, but it was too late.
Yeah.
58,000 people saw it.
Yeah.
And you were very concerned. You were beside yourself and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to call Alexi, our incredible boss.
Again.
What am I going to do? Again, because we just talked about this last week.
He just told me to stop.
An event. And then I was chastising you and giving you a hard time and teasing you. I said, I better go I'm calling Alexi right now. And then he walked past the door of the room we were hanging in.
Oh, God.
And I called him in and said, oh, Alexi, Leslie has something to tell you. You collapsed on the floor.
I dropped to my knees.
You were laughing so hard you were crying a little bit. You couldn't speak.
I was upset.
And also you couldn't stop pressing the button.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot.
So Alexi is trying to make sense of the scene. Everybody's laughing at you, saying you're in trouble, and you're on the floor crying, and I'm farting and farting and farting.
I totally forgot. I remember Alexi's face was like, okay, I don't know what's happening here, but where are you farting? Oh, yeah, I couldn't stop. It was like a weird tick. My thumb just kept pressing the button over and over again because I was uncomfortable.
Yes, you screamed that out loud at the time.
Oh, God. Yeah, I've gotten better. I mean, I have some crazy spoilers in my drafts that I'm not posting. It's going to make incredible content when these episodes air. But man, yeah, that I haven't done so well this season. I'm just trying to keep the buzz going. We're on a really long hiatus, so it's like.
Listen, the vast majority of people that watch the show have no clue about this stuff. There's like a contingent of people they're like detectives. I'm not going to lie.
True.
They're clever.
They're so clever.
They're good.
They pay attention. And that's actually kind of what makes it fun to like put all these layers into it because they go back later.
That was one of my favorite memories that happened recently. Give me something that is one of your favorite moments that behind the scenes.
Behind
BTS.
the scenes. You know what? I was going through my old photo library and I came across the reveal of you bringing in the e-bike for Richard. And it's so cute because you're a tall, big dude, and the box is ginormous and it makes it look like you're so little holding this huge bike. And Richard's surprised, like, oh man, like you really pulled a good one on him. You made him think that everyone else was getting an e-bike and he didn't get anything. And it was really cute, the reveal. And just like, before we got in trouble and we had to get rid of those bikes, like riding around on those e-bikes on the Paramount lot was so fun and cute. We were like a biker gang. It was so fun.
So for the people at home, we have to travel between sound stages that are literally on the opposite ends of the lot.
Mm.
And having those little bikes was extremely convenient. You could rip back to the base camp and get stuff that you needed and come back really quick. And it was very nice to have. But they don't allow motorized vehicles like bikes like that on the lot. So we had to get rid of them. But before that happened, I brought in these nice little pretty little e-bikes for everybody in the cast.
It was very generous.
Everybody's prancing around with their little e-bikes. And if Richard has a kryptonite, it's FOMO.
Yes.
It's what about me?
Yeah.
How come? What'd you guys go out? I didn't. How come?
Yeah. Where's my present?
What are you eating?
He loves gift giving.
It's his thing. And it's so fun to razz him about stuff. And so everybody got a bike except for Richard and just rubbed it in his face. But he kind of like, oh, you didn't get one? Oh, this is great. This is nice. And he hook, line, and sinker.
Oh.
Yeah, you got that on video.
I have that on video. I'll send it to you. I don't remember if it was just the picture or the video, but it's really cute. And like,
I'll post that.
oh yeah, and I have a really great video of you. I was on a golf cart and I was filming you and Eric ripping around on the e-bikes together. It's so cute.
That one made it to social
Oh, that
media.
one, you
I've
do have
seen
that one. Okay, good.
I've seen that one. That was fun. Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah, it's so fun. And you know what? I know we don't do them as much anymore, but those roll call room scenes remind me a lot of like the love of a cat. You know, you're having fun, you're messing around, you know, you're playing with danger, you know, and it's fun and it's fun. And then suddenly it's not fun anymore and it's taking too long and everyone's grumpy. And it's like, you know what I mean? But I miss
There's
those.
a line.
Yeah, there's a line. But I miss those days because it's like it's not very frequent that we're all together anymore. And yeah, those days were always really fun, but so rowdy and hard to get things done too.
When we are all together, especially when Richard's there, the noise level.
I know, it's so crazy.
It's like there's a party going on.
We get really loud.
But there's no music. But it's like people trying to talk over the music, but there's no music.
Yeah.
But it is quite possibly the most joyful cast I have ever experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good time. Bill Rowe has a story about us just out of control. You know, we're just sitting in our little village wherever they set us up with chairs, but not. I think we were in the police locker room.
Yeah.
And it was a riot. It was crazy. It was super loud. And someone said, "I'll go quiet them down." And Bill said, "No, don't." What's the alternative? The alternative is if they didn't enjoy each other and they weren't having fun all the time. Who cares? Who cares if it's noisy and loud? And I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
As long as the work's getting done, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a joy. There will be a day where there will be no rookie in 25 years, God willing. And we will certainly miss those days. I'm certain of it.
Yeah.
What challenges you on the rookie? Because you're very good at your job. You are a problem solver. You make life easy. I have no complaints. On screen, off screen. What challenges you? What do you find difficult?
I think the thing that is the most challenging for me is I have a lot of opinions. And this isn't to say that it's like a challenge I don't enjoy, but I think it's challenging to learn how to collaborate and to express an opinion, especially if it's a divergent one from whatever is currently being presented, and to find a way to collaborate that feels joyful. I think something that I'm learning as we are putting more time under our belts on this show is like, if you have seniority, people can feel like either A, they shouldn't collaborate with you because you'll know what to do, that there's no room for their vision, or that your voice should trump it, or that they shouldn't listen to you at all because of maybe an overly familiar sense of self in that environment. And so finessing all of the different types of personalities and the ways that people collaborate or shy away from it or lean too deeply into it, it feels like this perpetual dance of sensitivity and attunement to not only the process, but the person to whom you're trying to communicate, whether that's your scene partner, the director, the writer, or sometimes the showrunner. You know, I think there are times where I'm like this in my life too. So of course I'm doing it professionally as well. But sometimes like I'm really specific about semantics and how we're saying things, you know? Yes, you're saying something, but how are you saying it? That's important. And because the character that I'm playing we've established that she has a certain degree of emotional intelligence, that's an aspect of her character that I sometimes get protective about. And like, how are we saying this? And I'm aware that having an actor appear and be like, hey, so, because typically, and there's nothing wrong with this, the gig is, as the actor, make it work. This is your script. Make it work. Figure it out. And I do agree with that. And then sometimes I don't. And I try to push my luck a little. So that's the challenge, I would say.
I would hazard to say that the extent of the emotional intelligence of Lucy Chen wasn't there on the page in the beginning of the show. I think that's something that you brought, where an actor comes and starts filling in the spaces with these things, the bits between the lines, begins to shape the character the evolution we had nearly a decade for these characters to evolve.
Unheard
We've
of.
done a lot of
Crazy.
right.
Yeah.
It's not often that happens.
Yeah.
How has the show evolved for you?
Beautifully in so many ways. It's really exciting. And I hope you feel this way too, because, both of our characters started as rookies. It couldn't be a better situation to be arcing with a character, especially knowing that we've gone as long as we have. We're very fortunate that we got to start with our characters at the beginning of their journey in this world, not already established in whatever situation. So we've actually had somewhere to go and to fall and overcome all of this stuff. And so has everyone else. But I feel like in the context of the show, we've really had a beginning for that journey. So yeah, it's been incredible. I really am excited that Lucy's evolved into who she is and the leader that she is, especially because of how, as confident as I've always played Lucy and that she's written, she was green at the beginning. And it's really cool to see that shift over time. And it really shifted with the year where she was working with Patrick Seth.
Yes.
I really,
Yes.
and that was like an on purpose thing, and dropping Lucy's voice. Cause, females, we're always code switching when we need to put on more authority. And I know that police women definitely do that. You drop your voice when you're talking to someone, establish more authority in the space. And it's been a joy to get to exercise so many different aspects and to play and to discover. It's been really cool. Yeah.
Do you have a secret to acting? Like I've seen you do, I've seen you be really cute and sweet. I've seen you be extremely vulnerable and fearful. I've seen you be incredibly strong. I've seen you be dangerous. Is there a secret? Like if you say, oh, you want to cry, just pull a nose hair. Like, is there a secret that you have?
I wouldn't say I have like some trick. I know that some people do have that. I would love the crying trick. I don't have it. I'm either like touching it for real or I'm not. But I would technically enjoy that trick. So if you have one of those, you can share that with me. But I think one big thing that I've learned for this gig is to not shy away from the complexity and complete whole experience and multitudes that a woman holds. Because every woman I know, no matter what forward-facing presentation she gives the world, has all of that. I don't know a woman that doesn't hold all of those things. And maybe that's just because of the company I keep, but most women that I am in close proximity to have all of those things. They have the new, green, shy, vulnerable person, and they can also be fearsome and dangerous and sexually liberated and also demure. Like they have all of it. And not shying away from that, I think, has been a part of a key or a trick, for Lucy to me. Yeah.
I don't often talk about acting with actors and process and stuff like that, but I'm really enjoying the fact that you're describing these experiences and your process in words I can understand. Do you have a secret? Again, it's not a secret. How do you play chemistry? Again, we're under the gun. You got to do it right now. Okay, and not right now. You're going to be chemistry and go. Boom. You're very good at playing chemistry. What is the key?
It's funny because why was I thinking about that the other day? I was reflecting how I know somebody else who does that. I mean, obviously you do too, but it's like, there's like a thing that turns on behind the eyeballs, It's not something out here. It's the thing that turns on behind the eyeballs. Right now, it's making me think of my tea service, actually, because there's this is a weird segue, but at the beginning of tea, there's a moment, and it happens in silence, where you meet the eyes and you greet them with warmth, as if to say like, hello, welcome, and have a nice tea sit. And that's a very fundamental part of the practice, like greeting the other person with sincerity and presence. And I do believe that a lot of the time, that's not happening. We have moments with each other in passing, but to like truly be fully present with another person, it's very intimate to gaze at another person with affection. And so, I don't know. I think I naturally do feel very fondly of people, like warm towards them. And maybe also I can touch that a little bit more readily because there is, if I'm being brutally honest, there's like a difficulty suspending like this people pleaser in me. Like I definitely have this thing in me that's like, I like you. Do you like me? I like you. Are we good? Are you happy? I'm happy.
I know this look. I know this look. I see you doing it now.
Yeah,
I know this look.
right. And so I think like maybe a little flavor of that, if I'm being brutally honest, and then like a tinge of like just even the thought of like, you want to kiss?
Seems like a little pause before you.
You just, I don't know. Just a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Moving away from the rookie now, I've hung out with you IRL. That's what the kids call it.
Yeah.
We've had full on adventures.
We've had some epic ones.
We've gone to Disneyland.
Yes. That was cool. That was my first time at Disneyland.
What?
Yeah, it was my
place on earth.
Yeah, it was my first time, and it was so like first class. It was epic.
It was wonderful.
It was.
What a great experience.
Yeah.
We've gone to the Apex Project,
That was so cool.
the Wolf Sanctuary.
Yes. Love that place.
That was pretty amazing. That's pretty neat to connect with those animals.
Incredible. And I did not know, and I don't know if this is private, I'm sure you guys can cut it out, but I didn't realize that you and your team are like in full sponsorship with the Alpha there. And that's so cool. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, there's something really wonderful about connecting with an animal. It feels really special when you sit down and one comes over to you and sits with you and licks your face and just lays down next to you, and just you feel something. It's just because it's not a pet.
You feel seen, like truly seen, because they are not obliged to. They're not interested in pleasing you, unlike a dog. It is of their own sovereign free will whether or not they want to look at you, let alone be near you for an extended period of time. It feels really special. I'm taking my family for New Year's Day, actually. That's how we will have our first day of 2026.
Oh, that's epic. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I love looking at those animals saying, wow, I could just imagine this thing tearing a deer apart.
Yeah.
Like,
strong.
It's a predator.
Yeah, very much so.
We also have attended a couple of times Delusion.
You love the haunted houses.
I do.
I know you do. I love how I like that you bring people together to experience these things. It's really cool and terrifying, but good.
That's the best way to experience it. Was that your first time at Delusion?
No, we went last year too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. This was fun though. It was really fun this year too.
But I remember you being nervous about how scary it was going to be.
Well, because you kept hyping it up to be so extremely scary. So I thought I was going to maybe...
I said it was extremely good.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was extremely scary.
Yeah.
I just said it was good. I did have a couple of moments in there that were the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah. My favorite part about that night that still cracks me up is they were like, hide against the wall or under the bed. And everyone went under the bed. And I was like, well, I'm the only one out here. I guess I'll just close my eyes and pretend like I can't see.
So for those listening that have, I'm sure if you've not heard of Delusion, it's a show. It's a haunted house. It's a play. It comes not every year, but most years to different locations around Los Angeles. This year it was downtown in an old theater that had been converted at one point to a nightclub of some sort.
Great venue. It
has a theme. This year was Dante's Inferno, the 7 layers of hell. And it's like you're guided through a spooky experience. And, it's not death-defying and no one's grabbing you and screaming. But there's some moments where we're running
for our lives
tilt down a hallway screaming and laughing and... I don't want to be last. I don't want to be last in line.
No.
Out of my way, Melissa. Throw you down.
Trample over you.
I love adventures. I love events and adventures, incredible shows, incredible experiences. And I like to be with my friends when I do those things. And you're one of the few people I can stand your company.
Thank you, Nathan. As a omnivore myself, I feel the same way.
Cranky old son of a bitch. What?
I'm curious to know, what is you, because you do have your thumb on the pulse for cool things that are happening. What is the next thing on your bucket list? Or doesn't have to be the next, but like, what's something that you're like, you know what? I haven't done that yet. I really want to do it. That sounds cool. Got to do it soon.
There's two shows that I've attended and I haven't seen them in a while. They're pretty amazing. One is Lucha Vavoom. It's Mexican wrestling and a little bit of burlesque dancing, but mostly the Mexican wrestling, which is so very fun. They got a cast of characters that are incredibly entertaining. And at one point they go, look out, look out, look out. And they push you out of your chairs. You gotta scramble out of your chairs and someone's going to get thrown out of the ring. And there's a whole bunch of people left there to catch them. And it's
wow.
And then you got to grab your chair and come back into the audience and sit down. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Characters like Dirty Sanchez.
Where do you have to go to see this?
This is is it the Mayan Theater downtown?
It's in LA.
So yes. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
wow. I thought this was like, I have to go to Tulum to see this show.
No.
Wow.
This is right here in LA. It only happens a couple times a year. And then there's an Australian show that comes to town every once in a while. It is a burlesque show, but it has a Star Wars theme called The Empire Strips Back.
Wait, has this been in town before? Because I think I remember seeing some. Okay, yes. Did you go last time?
I did last time. I go every time they're in town.
Cool.
It is, the production value is incredibly high. It is like full on professional dancers. There's not people taking it not seriously. It's a production.
It's an art form too. And I'm noticing that the two threads that are connecting these experiences is burlesque. Is this something that you enjoy? Because I have a recommendation if you haven't been before.
I'll confess, the burlesque of the Mexican wrestling, I don't really enjoy.
Okay.
It's kind of odd. It's kind of odd and out there. It's not my favorite part.
Okay.
But the Empire Strips Back, I'm like, wow, I'll go see that again.
Yeah.
It's I guess it all depends on the thing. Yeah. Burlesque in general does not appeal to me.
Oh, okay.
But the Empire Strips Back does it very, very well.
Yeah, there's like a novelty to it.
There was like a Russian circus, like acrobat show in the round that I saw. Well, at one point, it was incredible. They had these large Russian women, like kind of setting up equipment in between all the acts. And at one point, they take off their wigs and whatnot. It's all these big Russian dudes. And they do acrobatic stuff, but like you can't believe where, like, heaven forbid, one of them lets go of one of these bars, they're going to fling right onto the ground.
That sounds terrifying.
We'll be there. We'll be there the next time they come. This is something I considered talking about, and I also considered not talking about it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to try to talk about it without crying.
Oh, okay.
Pets.
Oh, yeah.
You've had some lovely pets.
Yes, I have. You too.
I've had some lovely pets.
Yeah.
Present company excluded.
No,
I'm looking at my cat right now.
Bowie's awesome.
I tell you, I've considered changing his name to Regret.
Get out of here.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
But I had a really incredible cat. My first cat. I don't like cats. My first cat was Dirty Cat, and she was contentious in the beginning, just problematic. And then she made me respect her. She did right by me and my nieces when they were very, very young. And she really earned her keep, just being a wonderful little lady. She lasted a long time. And then I had a fella named Spartacus who was my best pal. This is the part where I'm trying not to cry. Let's talk about your pets.
You want to shy away from it?
I'm just gonna catch my breath before I talk about Spartacus.
Okay.
Let's talk about your dogs.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Herc and Taya were my familiars. You know, I was going through my garage. I'm in a really big process of purging right now. I want to get rid of a bunch of stuff. And I have been avoiding my shed because there's just a lot of stuff in there that I wanted it out of my house and I didn't want to see it because I have a smaller house. And I just was like, I don't want to see this stuff, but I'm not quite ready to give away or donate or get rid of anything. I am a single woman with disposable income. I have a lot of personalized accoutrement for my animals, and my garage, it's like all of their stuff. And when I say that, it's not just like their beds and their toys. It's like all of the medical bills and their documentation and their drugs and like just all this shit that, yeah, the last 3 years with them, or the last 2 years, I just was in full dog nurse mode, and it was gnarly. And losing them was a really powerful, like, rite of passage, I guess. Like holding space for loss and loss of life in that way, and stewarding somebody's exit and making sure they're as comfortable as they can be. at the same time needing to make that decision because it's not ethical to like let them just expire the way that some people do with their human family members, that was a real difficulty because I just was like, I'm just going to keep throwing money at this until it's fixed. And it was very perplexing. And I think why it felt like a rite of passage is because as somebody who is very much in control and I try to problem solve as much as I can and help where I can, it was very disillusioning to understand that we sacrifice so much of our life force and our energy and our time for our jobs, which we love having, and we are in exchange paid, and the money wasn't doing anything to fix this problem. And that was very frustrating. Like no amount of money I could throw at it would make it go away. And I felt totally powerless. And it was like a combination of like grief, sadness, and like anger. I was very angry that like I couldn't make it stop. Yeah. I had such an amazing time with those dogs. And I'm very much still in grief about it because I don't want other dogs right now. I understand that there's lots of animals that need homes and love. And I know that I'm a good animal mom and that I would really help people. But like my heart's just so not down for it right now. But yeah, they're amazing. And I miss them all the time. And I'm so grateful that I got to take care of them for as long as I did. So special. And Herc, man, just to shout out when people are trying to make decisions, like highly recommend adopting. And I highly recommend adopting a senior dog. Hercules was in a loved home and they had to drop him off because of an incident with a baby. But like he was the best dog, like so incredible. We were so close. And I'm so sad he's gone. But anyways, all that to say is I appreciate having the opportunity to talk about them, Hercules and Taya, my good babies. If you feel ready, I'd love to hear more about Spartacus.
He was great. He was my buddy.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's our job to care for them and to do things for them they can't do for themselves. It's our job to make sure they have a high quality of life. And sometimes that means walking them twice a day. Sometimes that means vet bills, and it's whatever we do to take care of these animals. And in return, I mean, if you own a pet, what you get in return. That pure companionship without judgment, the innocent partnership that it is, which is always why it's so sad that they go. Did you ever read The Rainbow Bridge?
Yeah, I did.
That's what I send people every time they lose a pet.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
It's something that comforts me.
Yeah.
Let's end on a happier note. How many more years will you do The Rookie?
You know the answer to this.
You said, I will Grey's Anatomy this bitch.
Until the wheels fall. No, listen, I will be here as long as I will be had. This is a really beautiful place to be. And I send Alexi a lot of love and gratitude because I think there's the one thing that I really take notice of is we have a lot of guest stars on the show. And I love that he would never say this outwardly, but I'm making something up, but I really feel it. I think that we try to spread the love on this show and make sure that people are getting an opportunity to work because we are shooting in LA. There's not a lot of work right now. We're lucky to be working. And I feel like we really try to make sure there's a lot of storylines going around. And so we can bring people in and get people gigging, And so I appreciate how he tries to like keep us whole. And at the same time, I know it's a story. And so you never know what's going to happen. You never know what an author will decide is what will tell a good story. And so I will be here for as long as I'm welcome. And it tells a good story.
My dream, my plan, not that I'm in control of it, is to do this as long as I'm able, and then have some kind of form of soft retirement and hand it off to you.
Oh, you say that to every like nice girl that's sitting with you, Nathan.
I turned 55 in March. I was in my 40s when this show started.
You mean when you guys originally started? Yeah.
When we originally started this show, I was in my 40s. And I am now mid 50s. I hope I turn 60 on this program. I can see that possibility.
Hell yeah.
I don't see 65 or 70. I honestly don't. But I do see the show continuing without me, and I see it continuing in your capable hands.
Oh, that means a lot to me coming from you, Nathan.
You said something earlier about, it comes from the top, and then, this and that, and blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
and blah, all the stuff, all the dumb stuff you say. The fact is, I've been on a lot of shows, and I have never changed how I conduct myself. And I've been in difficult cultures, toxic ones. It's not always up to me. I think it does start at the top. I think the top is Alexi. I also strongly believe it takes a village. And I, for one, am extremely grateful and feel very fortunate to be a part of our little village that we have going on.
Yeah, me too.
I can't thank you enough for doing this with me. I'm sad that Alan wasn't able to be here. He's very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so glad you guys are finally doing this. I know you've been talking about it for a while. Congratulations on finally getting it going.
Thank you very much. Anything you wanted to add that you didn't get a chance to? Do you wanted to sing a little bit for us today?
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Wait, just so I get it proper and correct. What's the name of the podcast?
Once We Were Spacemen.
Once We Were Spacemen. Okay, so should we jingle impromptu harmony? Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Once we were spacemen. Not bad. I'm sorry I didn't sustain. I wasn't ready because I was so shocked that it was so good.